Hi, this is Tim at the IWC, San Angelo, Texas, courtesy of Pond Megastore. We're going to show you a little bit about how to deal with an overgrown, overcrowded Hardy. You see Juan Visa in front of you, which is probably the most prolific growing plant we've seen in a long time. 1, 2 or 3 inch piece becomes a colony within just a month or two. So you see the full-size plant. The next little segment is going to be us chopping it up. So okay, we're back. This is Tim, Ken, and Zac, and we're going to start doing surgery here, chopping up Juan Visa. As you can see, there's crowns coming in from all different angles all over the place. So each time where you see a hunk of plant coming up off the end of this, that can be cut here as long as you leave the growing part and some root system that will live. You don't need 5 foot, you just need about this much. So you can see we've got 6 to 10 or more here, depending on how radical we want to do surgery. So Ken's going to start hacking up and he's going to kind of show you what's going on. Basically, he's going to find the rhizome itself, to see where it's at, what angle it's at, and then to see what direction we need to be to try and cut this.
Don't have to be very delicate.
Well, there's 2 right here. 1 actually. We don't need all of this root here.
Part he's going to chop off is the old part of the rhizome. Not needed at all.
Constitutes 1. Here's some little eyes that are still viable. Good. This will grow, this will grow, this will grow. So here's some little propagules here.
Here's the main piece that he's got to cut off right here, and you can see, you know, we'll plot this up, and this could be blooming here within, you know, a couple weeks because it's already blooming, but we've done some damage, so it's going to take a little while to get back from the shock.
So here's another one.
There's another one.
We'll go down here and get into the primary rhizome, is going right here. Get into that. There's 2 plants. I'm going to make a division here.
Just right in between them. There's 1. There's 2.
We just work our way across the pot until they're all gone. More or less. There.
Juan Visa is a water lily that you're going to be able to separate quite more often than a lot of other hardy water lilies.
There's 2 here. Pop it here against the back. There's actually a couple.
Right here.
Yeah, there's several here.
Okay, there we go. 1, 2. Another one.
It's a little tiny one.
Another one.
So you can see what appeared to be 1 plant. We're up to probably 8 or 9 so far.
Tuber right there. The rhizome is going right there, so I want that. And there's the original plant here. Jumped the pot.
Coming right out of the pot there.
So that's very easy.
And this was just repotted last year, or was it repotted this spring?
No, it was last year. This is year, okay. 2 years. So 2 years
so
ago.
We got about a dozen plants and
so
one
if we
pot.
planted this back as is, there would be many plants come
Right here.
eventuate off of this. If you wanted to propagate more up, this would yield many more plants if we just set it back in, which we'll do and see how many we get.
Okay.
Right over here, we've probably got about 15 or so.
15 plants out of the one bucket, which you all saw at the very beginning of the video. Looked to be just one lily, but we're going to take some of these and pot them up for you right now and show you how to pot a brand new water lily, because this is the condition pretty much that you will get them in the mail. This is a standard lily pot. It's about a 16 by 7. This one might be a little bit smaller. It looks like it might be a 15 by 7, but depends if it's edge to edge. But it's standard. This is perfect for hardy water lilies. They grow sideways, they don't grow deep.
A 7 lotus?
No, it's a hardy water lily pot.
Okay, this is a hardy water lily pot. A lot of people use these for lotuses. This is where we're going to plant these Juan Visas in that you just saw us chop it up. Ken's in front of you, right behind the pot. He's got some Landon 7803, the absolute best fertilizer on the planet. Hopefully we'll get more out in the market very soon.
And we're going to use about 6 ounces for this pot, for this plant. So first off, we're going to just salt and pepper style this in the bottom of the pot so that the roots will make it to that eventually. Instead of just plain plastic down there, they're going to be in the fertilizer mix. And then we're going to go forward with the introduction of the soil. And primarily the way that we do this is lay the soil in and try not to disrupt that. We're going to go and bring this pot up to level of about 1/3 of we're putting dirt here in the pool soil. This is just regular heavy clay soil. We put about half a gallon in here. We're going to put another container. We're not going to really measure it that well. We're going to go about 1/3 full of the soil, virgin soil alone, especially if we can get good soil that hasn't been adulterated with some kind of chemical or herbicide is primarily the best way to go. No peat moss mixes or anything like that, just heavy clay. I'm going to add this in here. When we get about 1/3 level, then we're going to initiate about 1/3 left of the fertilizer that's in this 3 or 4 ounces. We're going to put this in there such a salt and pepper style, and then we're going to bring it in. Now the reason we're mixing this in such a fashion is so that the roots will pass through the soil matrix that's been adulterated with the fertilizer. Tim, you can go ahead and add another. We're going to bring this thing on up to 2/3 level of the volume. Now this can work in any size pot. We're going to 1/3, then we come to 2/3, and we can see how we top dress it with fertilizer. And then we're going to take and put another portion. Now we've used about 3/4 of this fertilizer up, so it's incorporated throughout the soil matrix. We're going to go ahead and put one more virgin soil on top. We don't necessarily want the roots to be in contact with the fertilizer per se. They're going to get into that. We're just going to rake that out smooth and plant the plant. In this particular case, we don't want to overplant this. We're going to get about 3 months of heavy bloom out of this particular size pot. We start with a rhizome that we had gone ahead and harvested prior to, and you can see the white roots coming here. I'm going to put this over here. Excuse me, this plant is going to grow across this pot. We don't want to necessarily put it here and let it, some people let it grow around in a circle. That's bad because it only gets half of the nutrition that it would get if it were growing across. We know that it's going to travel from this point to this point. When it gets to here, then it will veer off because we've got a circular pot. So that's okay. We'll put one going that way. We know that this is going to travel this way. We're going to put this other one going this way. Tim, if you'll do the honors here, we'll cover this up. Virgin soil, no more fertilizer. I take a little bit and put just prior to where the thing's going to grow. This way, the fertilization process is over. We're ready to go ahead and top this off. Now, if you place this in deep water, deeper than, say, whatever the length of the leaf or the stems are, the petioles, so what will happen is if you do that, then the thing's going to probably pull loose and float. So place a rock or a stone right here, and another stone on the other side to keep these things from moving. This thing will immediately start to root within 48 hours and produce viable plants within 4 or 5 days, and then go ahead and put the foliage out within another 2 weeks. It'll be in flower again.
Okay, now you said a stone. You didn't say a whole bunch of stones. You don't want to cover the crown with the stones, do you?
No, we don't want to cover the crown. The crown's over here. The stone goes back here on the rhizome. Now we just want to keep this thing from floating off. If you want to, you can get a coat hanger and make a U and put over this to hold it down. But you have to have something, because this thing does not have viable roots that are growing into the soil matrix now, right now, because we've just redone it. So in that context, we want to be able to keep it down in there until the roots form and grow.
Now, some people have also heard that you plant in sand or gravel instead of soil. Do you recommend that at all?
That's true. Water lilies can grow in sand, but it's recommended that they grow in some sandy soils are fine if you put the fertilizer in there, but remember, they have an open matrix so that the soil fertilizer is going to leach through and get out quicker. A heavy clay is better. That's what water lilies like, if you can get it and you have it. Here in Texas, the cotton field soil is what we use. We have a lot, but the heavy clay, if you can get it, would be the best thing. Gravel is not recommended. It can be top dressed to keep the fish away if you have a problem, or cover this with gravel. Primarily, we would cover this with rocks or stones to keep the fish away. I use mostly slate, flat plates that the koi can't uproot and move around. So.
Right, and so if they put too much gravel, you will stop the plant from coming up, especially on tropicals, correct?
Well, you could. It's, you know, if you get too much gravel. But this plant, you want to make sure that when you plant this, that you have the ascending leaf, the newest leaf, there it is, viable. Make sure that that's ready to go. If we leave something out here, that's not so bad. This little guy here is coming on. This bud probably won't mature because we've dug it up, but the next one or two will.
They grow very rapidly, so that's not a big concern.
Very rapidly. This thing would be ready. This thing would be blooming here. The way we built this, put this together, if we went ahead and plant this up, this would be growing in probably about 3 weeks. It would be budded and ready to flower.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken.
Yes. Okay, so we have this plant that we planted, and what we're going to do, we talked about something to weight this down temporarily. You can see where the top of where the plant's coming out here, and the new foliage is. Back here is the rhizome. I'm going to put a rock on there to kind of hold that down just temporarily, and you take this off in about a week or so. You get rid of this. Okay.
You do not need a lot of rocks on top.
Do not need a lot of rocks. You can cover this with rainbow rock or something like this, just about a ½ an inch or an inch.
But not, don't cover the crown.
No, don't cover the crown up, because the crown's trying to grow and push out. We don't want that to happen. This guy's just now having a hard time. It's going to have a hard time getting started, so it needs all the help it can get. Okay, now Tim, we're going to lay this in the pool. We've got a block down there. You can see that we put this down here.
Slowly, and it doesn't matter if a little bit of dirt comes up.
No.
It'll clear right up.
We're going to put this in the water. We're going to twist it around and get our foliage back wet. And we'll be sure and keep this wet. All these leaves will readjust themselves by tomorrow or the next day. The ones, some of them are going to die back because we've uprooted it, so pinch them off within a few days, the ones that are yellowish. The new foliage would generate, and you have a new plant ready for the season.
Thank you very much.
I've been watching it like every